Hello everyone, this is Jonathan Little for PokerNews.com, and today we're reviewing a hand that I played in a €2,000 buy-in side event from the European Poker Tour. Blinds are 500, 1,000. A good tight aggressive kid makes it 2,000 from second position out of his 12,000 stack. Folds to me in the hijack seat with ace-king, and in this spot, I think my standard play is to go all in, and I would be going all in here. Well, let's actually type in the range I'd be going all in with. In this scenario, I'm probably going all in with something like these hands. Give or take a little bit. So, pretty snug range, given primarily the fact that this player is a tight player opening from second position. And really, I'm not playing very many other hands in this spot. I don't have much of a flatting range at all. Maybe I flat these hands right in here. King, queen, king, jack, queen, jack, and jack 10 suited, maybe. Maybe stuff like 7, 6s, 5s. But even then, I think those hands could just be very easy folds, given this player is so short, min-raising from second position. So I shove. I think my shove is very standard and fine. Gets around to a player here in the cutoff, and take a look what he does. He goes, well, effectively all in and calls me. So the question is, which hands should he be calling with? Let's assume my range is this. We want to figure out which hands have about 50% equity. So let's just say he has ace-jack suited, right? If he has ace-jack suited, you see he's absolutely crushed. Ace-queen suited. Still pretty much crushed. Ace-king offsuit. Now he's roughly even. So given he's roughly even with ace-king offsuit, let's try to find the pairs where he's roughly even. Pocket jacks is slightly ahead. Pocket tens is slightly behind. Given that, in this guy's shoes, he should probably be getting it all in with pocket jacks or better and ace-king, which sounds incredibly tight, right? He may need to be even a hair tighter than that. It's hard to be a hair tighter than ace-king, but you saw that ace-king was roughly flipping versus my shoving range. So if he's flipping versus me, and he still has to worry about these players yet to act having a good hand, especially this good kid who opened, this is a spot where I think ace-king offsuit could be very close to a fold, and pocket jacks could be very close to a fold. I'm not saying those are folds, but certainly the worst hands, like ace-queen and pocket tens, are very clear folds. So, just to show you what happened in this hand. Good kid folds, which is kind of surprising, but he probably recognizes I must have a good hand and this guy also must have a good hand. We end up being against ace-queen. I lose the pot, which is fine. I'm not so concerned with that. But what do we think about this guy's call with ace-queen suited? That was really the purpose of this, was to show you that in this scenario, when a good kid raises from early position and then someone else who is competent shoves for 20 big blinds, you really do need a very strong hand. So again, let's give this guy ace-queen suited, and you'll see that he is very far behind. So now, the next question becomes, how wide do I have to be shoving for his ace-queen suited to become an acceptable all-in? Let's give me this. This is a little bit wider. Against this range, he's now flipping, but remember, he wants to be better than flipping. So which hands could we conceivably add in that make any sense, right? I have to be shoving roughly this wide. So ace-8 suited or better, ace-10 offsuit or better, good suited broadways, king-queen, and then pocket fours or better. If I'm shoving that wide, that is when ace-queen suited becomes an okay call versus me. And even then, we don't know exactly how tight this good kid from second position is opening as well. Maybe for all we know, he folded ace-queen himself, or he folded pocket tens. I would not be shocked if that happens because, well, let me actually show you what happens. If I have the range that I said I would have in this scenario, which would be something like this, and let's give this guy his calling range that I said he should have. Maybe this. If we give this guy pocket tens, you'll see pocket tens. Let's actually run this simulation. You'll see pocket tens only has 25% equity, and that is a disaster. So when he gets back to this player, he's actually getting roughly the right price to call, but a very close decision. Notice if he has ace-jack suited, for example, he's going to have a pretty easy fold. Even ace-queen offsuit in this spot is also a fold. So This guy probably did make what may appear to be a tight fold, but probably just a good, solid fold. So kind of an interesting scenario. I don't think many recreational players fold the ace-queen suited in this spot, but they definitely should. And that's really the purpose of this video, is to show you that whenever you're against two ranges that should be reasonably strong, you just have to have a good hand, a really good hand, to get it all in. Do not think that just because you haven't played a hand in an hour that you got to pop it in here with your ace-queen. You have to think about what your opponents are playing, which range they're playing, and then adjust accordingly. I actually pose questions like this a lot on my poker training site, pokercoaching.com, where every month I give a homework question where I would propose a question like this. Like, say a good tight player raises from second position with a 13 big blind stack. Someone else goes all in for a 20 big blind stack from fourth position. Which hand range should you call with in the cutoff? And that has the students try to figure out the ranges of both of these players and then come up with a range that this player should be getting all in. And doing this kind of work away from the table will allow you to find yourself in the spot with the ace-queen suited and not be overwhelmed by all the emotions and calculations you have to try to make on the fly. I mean, before I even played this hand, I knew that his ace-queen all-in would be a very bad all-in. And this opponent clearly didn't. And we made a bunch of equity in this hand. So if you're interested in that kind of thing, check out pokercoaching.com. But I think this is a spot that a lot of amateur players go broke in, and I want to make sure you're not going broke in this spot anymore. So let me know what you think about this. If you like these more sort of analytical hand histories, let me know. And thank you very much for watching. I appreciate it, and I will talk to you next week.